Okay, so today's video is something a little bit different. I'm recording this to address a process that I'm moving through at the moment, and I feel is a prerequisite to something that I'll probably do later this afternoon, which involves taking my hair, all 6-7 years of hair growth, and the memories and the energy of all the experiences that have happened along the way, and ridding my head of this hair. I want to say, a beckoning from spirit to heed a call that I've had on and off for many years to shave my head. And this week, so it's the 2nd of October today, earlier this week, I kind of had the realization that actually that it's time. It is time to take that step. And before I go and do this, before I go and actualize that process, I wanted to take a little bit of time while I still have this lovely hair to address the whys, because it's funny to observe how much of a point of contention this can be for women. And that's partly why I'm doing it. So I'm really going through an inner process of transformation at the moment as I begin this deep healing work around the reclamation of the divine feminine. And I will make an entirely separate video, possibly many videos, about this as I continue on this process of reclaiming the Shakti life force energy within my being. But over the last couple of weeks, I have felt the stirrings of this wild and unapologetic raw self wanting to emerge through my being. And I feel as though this is kind of the antidote to a way of living that I found myself in recently, which feels like a straitjacket. Over the last couple of months, I found myself playing small, allowing myself to be governed by fear of, judgment of others. And I can't live that way. I can't speak that truth. I can't embody that quality because they might judge me, because I might be isolated, because it's not safe to be visible. And so the more I have believed and identified with this narrative in my mind of basically it's not safe to be me, the more I found myself shrinking, and the more I found my soul crying out for raw expression. And I can feel I'm very much in contact with my sacral energy after my Kundalini awakening. It's something that I have a lot of direct contact with. This dark cocoa energy of the sacral chakra, of the sacral center. It's this beautiful, dark, divinely feminine energy, which resides in all of us, but is sometimes left and remains dormant when we do not create the conditions for it to emerge, when we do not allow it to emerge through our being. It remains dormant. And so the process I'm journeying on at the moment is removing in any and all conditioning and obstacles and ideas and ideals, so that this untamed expression of, you could say, of self or of consciousness, because really it's not Natasha, the ego identity, it's life wanting to express through this vantage point and it appears as me. And that's the process I'm moving through right now. This reclamation of this divine energy, which, if anyone has worked with the feminine specifically, you'll know that the feminine, not the wounded feminine, the divinely soulful feminine energy within us knows her inherent worth. And I'm saying gendered, her knows its worth. It's not gendered. This energy knows its worth. When we are in our divine feminine energy, unapologetically, not only are we the nurturing, receptive, allowing, in-flow beings that we could call kind of the light of the divine feminine, but we are also the very raw, powerful, untamed, unbridled energy of Mother Earth herself. This imperfect explosion of expression. And I am feeling a call to finally allow myself to express without limitations, to stop hiding, to stop constraining, to stop containing my beingness to please others and to fit in and to lay low and yada, 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 right? I have come to the realization, the deep knowing in my heart, not just the intellectual realization, the deep knowing in my heart that I'm not here to please other people or appease their egos. I'm here to live as me, just as you're here to live as you, your authentic, wild, raw expression of you and how life wants to live through you. That's why we're here. That's our purpose in life. And part of that process for me is owning my innate worth and strength as a deeply feminine woman, as a woman deeply seated in her femininity, knowing that worth is not attached to her physicality. So in our kind of Western society, but you could argue that it's just kind of it's a globalized ideal, really. This idea that women, this standardized ideal we have for beauty, that women are beautiful and worthy and desirable because they all kind of seem to be enmeshed, this idea of worth and desirability for women, especially. You're worthy and you're desirable and you're beautiful when you have XXXXX, right? So you've got all these conditions when you are, maybe if you've got big tits or you've got a big bum, you've got a small waist, you've got big lips, you've got long hair, you've got beautiful skin. There are all these conditions for worth that are laid out and perpetuated by society in the mainstream. And we subconsciously prescribe to those ideals. So back in the day, when I moved back from living abroad in Vietnam, I returned to the UK after living in a tropical climate where no makeup would remain on my face, so I just abandoned it. I returned to the UK and felt naked walking around my local town without makeup on because I'd been so used to doing it out in Asia, and I felt free of the conditioning of my home country and all the ideals and standards here. And I felt really naked and exposed walking around my hometown without makeup on. And then when I was considering wearing makeup again, I really asked myself, who am I wearing the makeup for? Is it for me? It definitely wasn't for me, because people who know me know that I've never really resonated with makeup. I forced myself as a teenager to get used to it, to feel more beautiful. And then I wore it out of habit for a while. And then I abandoned it when I was sort of 22, returning from Asia, realizing that I was only really wearing makeup to feel and seem attractive to other people, to feel as though my physicality would be more accepted if I wore makeup. I would be more accepted, right? Because we associate our worth with our physicality. And then it got to a point where I said, I do not have the energy or the motivation to do something that doesn't feel right for me just to please other people. And so I'm not going to do it. And so I stopped wearing makeup. And I'm 29 now, and I don't really... The most I'll wear is concealer under my eyes if I've had a bad night's sleep. But day to day, I don't wear makeup. And so most, you'll see me most of the time. If I'm looking haggard, you'll see me looking haggard. And I don't, I try not to use filters and things like that, just because for me, this is me, and I'm not worthy, or more or less worthy, if I use a filter, if I wear makeup or not, this is me. And so I feel like this whole kind of emergence of a self that wants to be bolder, be more authentic, be more raw, be more embodied, is calling me to let go and release my attachment to my hair, which for me has been a mask for so many years. It was a mask, certainly when I was growing up, because I had really beautiful hair and I didn't feel beautiful and I didn't feel attractive at all. And a lot of the feedback was that I wasn't attractive. And so I really got attached to my hair as my thing, the thing that made me physically validated, I suppose, the thing that physically validated me. And so this process of shaving my hair or cutting it off, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go down to like a number 3 all over. I want a buzz cut. This whole process is really about emerging into another level of this is me. Like, I'm worthy and beautiful as a being, with or without long hair. I'm worthy and beautiful and valid as a being, whether or not I prescribe to idealized standards of beauty. And I think it's one thing to know that, but to embody that is another knowing, another level of knowing. To be able to, as a woman, first of all, honor what feels right for us as individuals. So for me, shaving my head feels right for me. To honor that is huge. To honor ourselves over the opinions and standards of others is huge. But then to be able to go out into the world and to look into people's eyes and know your innate worth and value, and to know that innate worth and value is not in any way attached to this form, although the form in itself is holy and is something to be grateful for and to cherish and to nourish. But it doesn't dictate my worth, doesn't define who I am, because we're not our bodies. We express through the body. Who we really are expresses through the body. Awareness, infinite awareness, cosmic intelligence, consciousness, God expresses through this form and appears as Natasha. And so, this process is actualizing that knowing, bringing that knowing from something which is somewhat conceptual still for me, and really bringing it through into the world, and allowing the world to mirror back to me how much I truly know that or not. Because if I go out into the world with a shaved head and the feedback is, you look like shit, doesn't suit you, you look like a man, blah, 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 whatever people's feedback is. And I allow that. I just allow myself to receive that. And I also allow the knowing of my worth to emerge and hold space for all that. Then it's like a really good barometer for how far I've come on my journey of embodiment. So that's the long and the short of it. I am planning to chop all of this off. And I want to just take a moment to honor my beautiful hair. Probably 7-8 years worth of growth here. And it's interesting because there is a school of thought that identifies that we move through life in 7-year cycles. And I feel like I've come to the end of a cycle. I turned 29 in August, so very recently. And I'm at the end of a cycle of someone that has lived small, played small, felt this innate sense of unworthiness, and slowly rising in my being is a knowing that all of that is a fallacy. All of that is fiction. And that's really powerful. And so the power of that wants to express as a shaved head. So I'm going to heed the call. I'm going to honor this hair and all of the you know, the energy and memories that are stored in this hair, because it's been with me for 8 years and it's been through everything I've been through for 8 years, which is a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of seeking. And yeah, lovingly let this hair go, because this hair is not who I am. It's very interesting because speaking to friends and family about this, people's reactions to it is also, oh, hang on a minute, hang on, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to chop off your hair? And I think a lot of it comes down to the conditioning we have around how we should be as women, you know. And it's like, just letting my hair down now so you can see, like, it's long, you know, it's kind of, it's boob length. It's the length I wanted it to be for a long time. I really craved for this length of hair. And yet now I can't help but feel that this hair leaves me feeling encumbered in some way. This hair is beautiful, but I've outgrown it. And it's time for a fresh start. So, this is my prerequisite, guys, before I go and give my mum a cardiac episode. I say that in jest. I really hope that I haven't told her, obviously, because she would, I'm sure, try and bar my door shut. But again, this isn't about anyone else. This isn't for anyone else. And as much as I can acknowledge that I probably look a lot more attractive and physically beautiful with long hair, if I wanted to be more attractive to other people, I wouldn't be doing this. It's really not about the aesthetic. It's about the power of knowing that the aesthetic doesn't define or in any way contain my value or worth. So yeah, this is it. I may well just hop in my car and do it now before I wig out, before I chicken out, before my ego starts saying, hang on a minute, I'm still here and I'm still vain and I still want to look nice for other people. But the reality is, the people in my life that truly love me will love me irrespective of what I do to my hair. And this is the amazing thing, right? It's just fucking hair. We get so attached to the form, and the form carrying a meaning, right? Like the hair represents beauty, the hair represents youth, the hair represents femininity. You know, it's like it's attachment to an idea and an ideal. And I feel very strongly that this life for me is about breaking free of those ideas and ideals and just fucking expressing as myself without limits, and then modeling that so that other people feel safe to do that. Because we're not here to live as these small conditioned versions of ourselves. We're not here to adhere to other people's standards for how we think we should be or how they think we should be. So I lovingly sign off now, and maybe I'll see you on the other side of this with a lot less hair and hopefully a lot more gumption, or just pure terror and regret. Who knows? So I've just driven to my chosen barbers, found somewhere to park. Hope that I won't get a ticket because I don't know if I can technically park here. And then, yeah, I'm going to go and see if they can chop off my locks. So, join me at the barbers.
Okay.
Get it done.
So shall I do it? I reckon,
could you cut the pony off first and then...
yeah, definitely. During the summer, everyone was having the World Cup and you had the old Phil Foden, didn't you?
Yeah.
Everyone was doing that.
Yeah.
I thought I'd use these because they go through it easier than me.
I've got so much hair as well. Oh God. Honestly, you're going to need like hedge cutters to get through my hair, I think.
Your mum will always love you.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Let's find out if that love is unconditional or not. Still looks like I've got a... Oh my God, look at that! Oh my... I mean, like... I actually think I'm going to be alright with this in-between stage. If I can get someone decent to style it, they'll be fine. Look at that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I actually really like this length. I'm looking forward to this.
Just leave it.
Hi, Mum. Look like I've just come out of an asylum, but Yeah,
Are
let's
you
do
sure
it.
you wanna do this?
Get it all gone. Get it gone.
I had one of the best friends at school shaved her hair off for cancer. It was
Oh.
quite long, and she went mega short and raised loads of money.
Oh, wow.
And
I
of
should have done
course,
this for a
like-
charity, shouldn't I? Should have done it for like a cause.
That's alright.
Well.
You're doing it for you. That's
Yeah,
nothing
I'm the
wrong.
cause.
There's nothing wrong with that. Once we get this bulk off,
Then we'll see what we're working with, won't we?
Yeah, exactly.
No, the thing is, right, like... So, it's done. Got my Ripley cut. I also have a parking fine. The guy was literally just writing me out a parking ticket. So, the wonderful chap, Mark, who just shaved all my hair off, didn't charge me because I didn't have cash. He doesn't take card. Didn't charge me. Beautiful, legendary man, who I will need to find a way to repay at some point. But in exchange, I have the parking fine. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. But all in all, yeah, this is it, guys. I have no hair left, and I don't know how I feel. Liberated, and also like still like, what the fuck? Yeah. Wow. Okay, here we are. This is me. So, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning to you. Yeah, first day waking up with no hair. Oh my gosh, I did it. I actually shaved all my hair off. It feels like really normal. And a little bit like, what? Where's it all gone? But mostly really normal, which is strange. I thought I'd cry, or I thought there'd be some sort of grieving process. Feels very normal to not have any hair. I really quite like it, to be honest.